Hello again and welcome to this week's episode of Superfans Love Line. I'm Bob Swirsky. I'm here with Pat Arnold.
How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing great. And Carl Wolarski.
Hey, Bob.
Todd O'Brien couldn't be here tonight because his crabs were flaring up again.
Ah, that's a shame.
It's a shame.
The crabs.
Might have to get them cut out.
The crabs, which as you know is a form of genital lice.
Well, they're creepy, crawly little f***ers.
We'll bleep that out. Don't worry about that, Pat.
They sure are.
I like to keep my my pubic hair trimmed at all times, because my sexy body, I just like it to look clean and shaven.
Yeah, you should trim your pubic hair when you're trimming the rest of your body hair.
That's right.
At the same time.
Shave balls.
I start with my nose hairs, and I go all the way down.
Let's go ahead and take our caller one at this time. Caller one.
Yeah, hi Bob. I got some green stuff coming from my junk.
Ah, tell me a little bit more about this said green stuff.
Well, it burns and it itches, and sometimes there's a little blood that comes out at the end when I pee.
Sounds like a classical case of VD, or as the medical community likes to call it, the gonorrhea. It's easy for me to remember because it rhymes with my wife's name, Maria.
Here today, gonorrhea.
Tomorrow. The common term for that disease is the clap.
The clap.
You getting busy with a guy or a girl or what have you. You guys are getting intimate. You're taking off the clothes and then you find a little something on, it could be a dry patch or it could be, run the other way.
Let's go ahead and move on to our next caller.
Yeah, I just can never seem to have enough sex. It's like I always want to get down with my husband or the milkman or, I don't know, the guy that lives next door.
All right, caller. Now listen very carefully. You need to give me your phone number first, and I'll take care of you. I'll make sure that you don't get in any more trouble, because there's lots of STDs just running around that could put you right in the grave.
All right, it's 708-555-1212.
Okay, good. All right, now let's we're gonna beep that out of the television transmission so nobody else hears that number, but we're gonna take good care of you.
I love how Pat just said transmission. It kind of reminds me of sexually transmitted disease transmission.
Which is the topic of conversation at this time.
Let's go to our next caller.
Hi, my name's Peter. I got this rash. It kind of it itches and it's pretty sore when I scrub down there.
Might be a case of the herpes.
Herps. The herps.
The herps.
You never want to come into contact with anything like that. You're getting busy, you're having one of those romantic moments, and then you notice something different on your partner's genitals. I'd say run the other way.
You gotta watch out for herpes because it's more of a social stigma, really, than a life-threatening illness. But if you get HIV, then it's like a double whammy.
And it piggybacks off the herpes.
16% of women got them, 9% of men in the United States.
They'll stick with you for life. Like a Super Bowl trophy from the 85 Bears.
I can't help but to ask, Ditka versus herpes.
Does Ditka have a dosage of Valtrex at his disposal?
I don't see why not.
I don't see why not either.
After all, it is an over-the-counter medication.
That's how I like to do my wife, Bob.
Yeah, you
Over
be
the
careful
counter.
with that.
Doggy style.
Doggy style.
Now, when I'm picking up my Valtrex, I like to go to an out-of-town pharmacy just so there's no face
Social
recognition.
stigma.
Social awkwardness.
Yeah.
Nothing more awkward than seeing your pharmacist at church and having him ask you right in front of your wife, so how did Valtrex work out for you, Bill?
Or at Ditka's, even worse.
At Ditka's, that's right.
Ditka versus Green Bay Packers.
Ditka versus the Packers. Obviously Ditka.
Ditka.
Now, how about this? What if Ditka had a case of late series AIDS and the Packers were all wearing jetpacks?
Question. Does Ditka get blood transfusions every week?
Ditka receives the latest and greatest in medical care. It's provided by our non-national healthcare system.
Okay. I'm gonna go Ditka 417 to 3.
The coach.
The coach.
Dicka.
Do we have another caller?
Yeah, hey, this is Al there from the South Side. I spent a lot of time with the strip club with my buddies, and I'm having trouble performing for my wife.
Well, Al, you say you're from the South Side. Have you ever considered going downtown with your wife, if you know what I mean?
Do you mean downtown like a Pulaski Street?
I was thinking all the way downtown like Sears Tower.
You know, my wife's a little bit more of a Hancock kind of gal.
I see what you're saying. Well, what I think you're gonna need to get yourself is a dose of Viagra.
If you've never done it before, it's not something to be embarrassed about, okay? Mind you.
Happens to all of us. After you get past that 300-pound mark, certain
it's hard
natural
to get it
functions
up.
begin to
Slow down.
slow down.
Especially after about 15 Polish sausage and about 10 lap dances.
That's right.
And 6 or 7 beers.
It's pretty exhausting when you're having sex for like 7-8 hour shifts.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I recommend taking fewer than 12 at a time.
Pat, Viagra, isn't that how you had your last heart attack?
Yeah, that was it. It was sort of a combination, though, with the 14 Polish sausages I had that day. It hadn't quite gone down yet.
Yeah, be careful. That can be a dangerous cocktail.
And cocks and tails go together pretty well most of the time, don't you think, Bob?
I,
And Superfans,
Alright,
they
moving
have
on.
sunglasses, don't they?
like Ditka glasses.
Yeah, I think we look a lot more like the Superfans now. We should all look like Ditka.
Yeah.
Let's take the next caller.
Well, hello. I'm simply appalled that you haven't been talking about abstinence.
You know who else practiced a lot of incidents? Father Flanahan.
Yes, sweetheart.
He practiced abstinence with most of the boys in the service. I think they moved him to a different diocese after Operation Fumblebum.
I think that was 15 years ago. I think he's serving another 15 years. So there's your answer.
Sweetheart, we like to practice what we preach, and who here would ever be caught dead practicing abstinence?
Not me.
Not me.
Not me.
Well, you certainly aren't setting a good example for the young people out there.
Ma'am, let me handle this one. It has been well proven that abstinence education actually leads to more pregnancies and STD transference.
Ironically enough.
Yes, children who are taught abstinence will not obey, and furthermore, they will then not get taught about condoms and further prevention of STDs.
What he's trying to say is, what kind of a jagoff practices abstinence?
If and when they actually were practicing the abstinence, that probably would dramatically reduce the effect of unwanted pregnancies and STDs. But it's the lack of education which is really an issue.
For crying out
Agreed.
loud. My advice to you, have a lot of sex.
That's right,
Go have
guys.
sex.
Just keep it
Find
clean.
somebody in the neighborhood that you like and just go have sex.
As my old uncle Larry used to always say, the only 100% sure form of contraception is anal sex. Right, guys?
Right. Da ass.
The asshole. The asshole.
Oh.
Ditka versus AIDS.
Does Ditka have a case of blue balls?
Not necessarily.
Well, I would say Ditka would probably clobber AIDS 836-0.
Yeah, it would
Agreed.
be like a mass raping.
And as my grandma used to always say, I put the ass raping in mass raping.
It would be a bloodbath.
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 Just like being on the rag.
Just go get checked out for crying out loud.
Go get checked out.
Get checked
You
out.
know, if you're listening to this this show, go get checked out. It's reason enough to go get checked out.
It's just a little prick. Just like Bob has over there down in his pants.
I'm sorry, Bob. You left yourself wide open for that.
I did.
Get
Go
checked
get
out.
Go get checked out.